why is it double sound? I can't see myself. Anyway, this is absolutely perfect. So for anyone that doesn't know me, I'm Derek Rowe, but more importantly, we have a friend of mine, Tara. She's a great lady. I met, I would say, nearly 2 months ago. She is terrific at her job. She is an elite mindset consultant. So Tara, do you want to tell me?
We've been just having such great conversations. So it's great to show up here and share these conversations with, anybody, in the community here on Facebook, our family, our friends, our clients that, need maybe a little bit of extra support and guidance to move towards, better results in their life.
100%. And I think support and guidance equals accountability. And I think we all need someone that's going to stand shoulder to shoulder with us. And that's what, me and Tara are willing to do it. We did it a couple of weeks ago. And I'm sure we will be willing to do it again, possibly next Thursday, but we will keep everyone in tune. And listen, today it's important because I come across a lot of people, and Tara does as well. It's like people are aimless, and it's not only essential, like we're going to give a system, and I'm going to give my own, I suppose, my own views on this and my own experiences of what works, but Tara will have her own experiences from working on herself, but more importantly, working on her clients. So you'll get 2 different views, but what it will be value. And when you apply it to your life, you will get the results. That's all we give a shit about. We want you to get the results. And if you follow what we're about to say, I'm sure you will. So anybody that is logging in, I can't see comments or likes. We will get back to you in due course later, and I will tag you as well in this video, Tara, so your viewers can see it. So we're talking about goals and why your goal is essential. And if you have a goal, because I think if we don't have goals, we're just going to be on that little wheel of life continuously without getting off it. So the first step, what is the goal you want to achieve? That can be a relationship goal. It can be a fitness goal. It can be a money goal to do with business, money goal to do with work. There's a list of anything that's in your head. It's to be decisive and go, right, this is what I want. So whether that's, I want to lose X amount, I want to make X amount, you've made the decision. From there, what are the resources that you require? And what I mean by that, do you need, if you're going to the gym, a gym membership? Do you need a phone to send emails, to DM people, to make those calls, whatever it may be? So resources. So it's first knowing what you want, right? So you know what your goal is. You're very clear and defined on it. It is then knowing how, actually, we missed a step. It's knowing how to get what you want. So what do you need to know to get what you want? Do you need more information? What are the resources you need? Do you need to ask somebody, you personally know? Do you need to even come on and ask me and Tara? And Tara, I'm going to hand it over to you just for the first couple of steps, and then I'm going to shoot back in.
Yeah, maybe I'll just comment on what you're sharing around. I think that it's important for our audience to understand that we are goal-seeking beings. It is natural and it is healthy to grow, to want to do better, to want more. And I think that because of the way that, we grew up, some of us, we stopped dreaming and we stopped really just growing, and we kind of get sucked into the rat race. And maybe you're going after things we don't even want because somebody told us that we're good at that or we should do that. So it's important. I think the first step is just to take some time and recognize that you are a goal-seeking being, and that the purpose of a goal is not to get, it's to grow. We're here to grow. We're here to, expand and express who we are. And that's really beautiful. And it's important. I think that most importantly, when you start really thinking about goals, because most people don't have clearly defined goals, like Derek's talking about, is that you spend some time just getting your mind really calm and quiet. The world is really busy. And like Derek said, the rat race, I always call that the hamster wheel. It's like you got to get yourself off the hamster wheel and just find a quiet space where you can just pull out a pad of paper and a pen and just start to allow yourself to dream. Like if this is your life. What do you want to create? What do you desire? What is a dream that you have? And give yourself permission, because again, many of us, You know, I mean, a lot of this actually started in school, and nothing against school or teachers, but, you know, sit up straight, stop dreaming. And so when I work with clients, that's what I do, is I want to get them back into that dreamy space. I want to get them back to when, you know, they were saving the world and wearing capes and building, you know, castles. And it's important that we start using our imagination when we're working with goals, because our imagination is a higher mental faculty. And most people have shut off this mental faculty usually by about grade 1. So I'd encourage you to find a quiet space where you can start to just imagine and dream, because no one's even capable of even guessing at what they're capable of doing. I mean, you have infinite potential within you. So what do you want? And that's where I would get you to start, is just in this dreamy space, and start writing down, just spending some time writing, what do I want to create in my professional life? And I would suggest a money goal, because a money goal is always, it's measurable. It's a good goal to have, because if right now you're here and you want to be up here, it's a great goal to measure. But what do you want personally and professionally in your life?
Yeah, 100%. Like, you talk about the hamster wheel, and I think that comes down to, we had a brief before we jumped on for a couple of minutes, and I was talking about focus. Do you know the amount of distractions everywhere? The phone, like, I don't know, I was reading a book, and it was like, there's something like, I think in America, there's 35 to 45,000 ads running a day that some one individual can see. And it does come back to beliefs, what you're saying about school. And, we're fed a lot of bullshit, basically. Whereas when you're allowed in your own space, like we said in step 1, just to sit back, take from your mind, because again, first line of this was to eliminate overwhelm. We want to be able to eliminate and dissolve it. And like Tara said, pen and a piece of paper, because it takes what's in your mind out onto paper, where you can go, okay, you could write for an hour or 2 hours, but you can start to see a pattern and go, okay, money goal important. I actually think what's going to complement the money goal, and I think it's essential for everybody, is fitness. I think when you're physically fit, when you're internally fit, and you're blending those together, confidence begins to build, momentum simmers away. And then your goals, I'm not saying to become easier, but I'm going to say they become simpler, because I think if you really do want to achieve what you want, you have to be willing to do the work, roll up your sleeves, get dirty. Like, it's as simple as that. But the focus is going to be a big thing on reaching all your goals, because when you have, a list, and the list doesn't have to be big, it can be 2 or 3 things, it can be up to 5 things a day, where you get those done, that's a winning day. Okay, your goal is here, that's perfect. You know what your goal is after doing step 1 and step 2. But when the work really starts is on day 1, day 2, day 3, and to remove any distraction out of your life, because listen, the world wants to keep you on the hamster wheel. They want you to, let's be honest, want people to stay average. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think anyone wants to stay average. I think we all have an infinite amount of ability and resources within, like Tara said. And it is, so if you have your goals, it is then to go, how do I get what I want? And then that'll be another page on your copybook and your A4. How do I get what they want? So Tara, what do you think? Like, how do they get what they want? And we can talk about resources and stuff here.
Yeah. Well, and I just want to comment on something you said. We just have so much potential within us. There's a great quote that God's gift to you is all the talent and ability that you'll ever need. But your gift to God is to develop as much as yourself as you can, as much of that talent and ability. And I think that it's important to just mention here, and this is what I work with, is paradigms, people's paradigms, that subconscious mental programming. That is always the problem. We're programmed to get the results that we're getting, whether you like it or not. I mean, you've been programmed. Usually by the age of 3, 4, and 5, you're already programmed. And if you're not sure about what that genetic and environmental programming is, just take a look at your parents, look at your culture and your ancestors. There's a lot of programming there. But the good news is it's not all bad, is we have the ability to reprogram ourselves. It's just like, I think it's important at this time to even take a look at Maybe it's time to unschool ourselves. Maybe there's a lot of things that we took in, and I know there are, that are just not serving us and not working for us on this planet. It is time to start thinking. It is time to really start thinking. And there's another great quote, I forget who says it, but it's like 2% of people are only thinking, 3% think they're thinking, and 98% of people would rather die than think. So if you want to reach greater levels of that potential, you've got to start thinking, and you're going to have to reprogram yourself. Now, that program, when you start going after something really big that you desire personally and professionally, that program is going to try to take you sideways. It's going to say, who do you think you are? There's not enough money. There's not enough time. Where are the resources going to come from? So it's really important that you understand that we are all programmed. All of us, we've all got this programming. This subconscious mental programming controls almost everything you do. It controls your behaviors. That's why when you go after something really big that you desire, that you want, all of a sudden that paradigm, we just call it a paradigm, it just takes you sideways. And as far as moving towards goals and dreams, that's why it's so important to get out of your own way. There's a couple things that I would say, Derek, are absolutely essential that helped me. And that was recognizing that my first mentorship was not working for me. I mean, again, and I mentioned this on the last video, my parents, they did the best they could, and I loved them dearly, but they didn't have a lot of great programming themselves. And I remember my mom saying that to me many times, that she did her best, but she didn't have really great mentors herself. And she was correct. So I think it's important to start looking for really great mentors, somebody who's getting the results that you'd like yourself. That's why I love posting those great pictures of you, Derek. You're just in such great shape, and you're so committed to your physical mindset practices, right? So again, you want to work with someone who's getting the results that you want, and who has the specialized knowledge, not just information. We're on information overload on this planet. You need specialized information, and you need to work with a mentor. And that's what I did. I am so grateful, because if I didn't do that, I don't know where I would be now. I would still be on the hamster wheel. And I continue to work with incredible mentorship, and that's how I've gotten great results. And Derek and I both, our viewers, some of you might know a little bit about our story, but we both came from a lot of nasty programming, emotional impact, loss, addiction, you name it, right? And we've created just such incredible results in our life and reached really big goals. But it was through getting that specialized knowledge. It was, again, reprogramming. We literally had to reprogram ourselves. And I know for me personally, and I think I can speak for you too, Derek, it's something that we work on every single day. It's not like I'm done, I reached the goal. It's like, no, because once you reach one goal, you go bigger. You go after a bigger goal. But it's the paradigm that's always going to get in the way. And I always just say, like, a paradigm is just a multitude of habits. You are just the sum of your habits. It's your habits, it's your conditioning, it's your behaviors, it's your addictions, it's your alibis, it's the story you keep telling. Stop telling the story. The story, for me, life is hard, this person hurt me. Like, that's all part of that story that keeps you stuck where you don't want to be. And that is also the self-image. So you're going to have to upgrade the story. You're going to have to upgrade the self-image and the habits, and you're going to have to get rid of all those nasty alibis, excuses, and all the ways that you procrastinate. And again, I know for me that it was having somebody that was kicking my ass. It was having the mentorship. It was having the accountability, finding somebody, because we were talking about this before we jumped on the call. You make a decision, because it starts with a decision, which means to cut off from your procrastination and excuses. And you decide, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then the paradigm shows up in that friend of yours who calls you and says, hey, meet me at the donut shop. And you end up at Tim Hortons and you're eating donuts, right? Or whatever donut shop you have where you live, right? So that's why we need incredible accountability and mentorship.
Yeah, like no, 100%. Like it starts like everybody has, we talked about, we have the resources within. It's like Tara is saying, you need somebody just to stand shoulder to shoulder, which is the accountability. Because I know from myself, I never had a zero accountability, really proper accountability till a few years ago. Yes, I signed up in business coaches and stuff, but we need to go deeper because when you look at success, you know, people do say it's 80%. I go as far as saying it's nearly 90% what goes on internally, and that's down to around their mindset. And like, do you know that bullshit narrative that goes on in people's heads? I can't do it, or it's someone else's influence coming in. Like all of that can change with the pictures, but like the picture of what you want has to be the main focus. And you can put, you know, you can do whatever you want with these pictures because what you're focusing on will determine your results at the end of the day. So if you decide, right, today I'm going to focus on making more money, I'm going to focus on being healthier, being fitter, just being the best version I can be. Now, is that going to be an easy road? No, it's not. You're going to, of course, there's going to be obstacles and challenges, but the more you overcome, the better you become at handling these situations. And I like what Tara said, because we were chatting about this. Like people reach a goal. I think everybody's reached a goal, but what happens after the goal? And I've actually discussed this with some people and clients, especially. There's a void left because they've only set their timeline to maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, maybe 6 months. And then they get to go and they go, shit, what now? Where it's a continuation. And that comes down to your daily habits, because all your focus has to be on is right, completing step 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to step 5, or maybe you only have 3 steps, but you know when you're completing them, momentum is building, but you're also gaining confidence in your ability to create these new habits. And so it's actually stacking up days rather than actually, right, I am determined to reach this goal. All I have to do is get to the end of the day and win that day. Now you look back, review it, brilliant, let's go again. Now we live in the real world. Of course, there's going to be messed up days and stuff, but if you're winning more than you're losing, you're on course to get and reach that target. But it will come down to the internal world. It will come down to your self-talk and what you're seeing. And there will be external influences. Like Tara said, donuts, I actually thought, oh, come on, let's go drinking for the night. And, you know, there's a lot of people on my list that, you know, they do well for 2 or 3 weeks. And then, oh, yeah, I was out drinking. And I was one of these people. I do well. Someone I go, and if you that voice, it's only a drink. I'm out partying for 72 hours. I'm in bits. All my good work has been gone. But the reality of it is, when you have a plan, even if deviations happen, you can get back on course. So a plan will be essential, but it is managing what's going on internally and especially questioning a lot. And I think it goes back, ties in with what you said, Tara, that get a pen and a piece of paper and even write your bullshit on paper. Just get it somewhere, talk to somebody, but it does tie back in with accountability is essential. And even if you can't afford a mentor or coach, maybe there's someone in your area that you look up to that will give you advice. I know I give someone advice if they ask me, because I remember where I was. And Tara will be the same. She remembers what it's like to be at her lowest. And it's not a nice place to be, but your life experience is very valuable. And you're not only changing, you remember, you're changing a lot of other people by your actions. You don't have to tell them you're doing anything, but by your actions, by your energy, you can change the world. And like for me personally, I'm only really at the start. I've only picked up on a lot of this in the last couple of years, but it's my life experience that's brought me here. Tara is very similar. We've different methods, different principles, but it ties back in with the same message that number one, yes, know what you want, know how you get it. Then, like Tara said, with the resources, then it's the most essential part is what's the plan? And the plan can be as simple as A, B, and C on a paper. I'm going to complete these on a daily basis. Guess what happens? You feel good, you stack up the wins, but remember, and we're here to tell the truths and no bullshit. There will be external influences everywhere. And that is to break those habits. And then on this side, you are creating the habits to be successful. And you always have a plan to keep you on course to achieve that.
Yeah, exactly. And as you're sharing, it makes me think. So I study How to Think and Grow Rich every day.
Yeah.
And there's a chapter in here I would suggest to our viewers to read, which is persistence. Yeah, persistence. And, Napoleon Hill like he says, you're going to have to pass a persistence test, just going back to like the accountability. Yeah, you got to do it yourself, but you can't do it alone. So, even when you start moving towards goals, you got to make those decisions yourself. Nobody's going to make those for you. You don't need anybody at the beginning, but then you do need somebody, that can support you. And it could be anyone. There's a lot of free information. A lot of people reach out to me and they are looking for free. Now you're always going to get what you pay for. So, I mean, I'm so grateful. I saw the value of working with incredible mentors and coaches, but I think it's important that you're going to have to pass a persistence test. It has been a really tough couple years on some people. And the thing is, like, I keep hearing that every time I jump on a call, it's been hard, and I get it, but compared to what? Life is hard. If it doesn't challenge you, it's not going to change you. And when it comes to money is being talked about a lot right now. Well, first of all, there is way more millionaires and billionaires that come out of like economic crisis than any other time. We know that when we look at history. There's no better time now than to have big goals around creating better businesses, better books, if you're an author like myself, better motion pictures. This is what happens during these times. And you don't want to let the economy to control you, because this is just where you're operating out of that paradigm again. This is where you're allowing outside circumstances to dictate how you feel and how you show up. You create the economy. I know my mentor, Bob Proctor, he would say that all the time. He'd say, you create your own economy. And when it comes to pictures, Derek, you were saying pictures. Well, I always have a goal card, always. And I would suggest to our viewers, take what you've written down in your journal, get it on a card, start reading it every single day and start forming those pictures. Now, I teach universal law and of course around the mind. We would say that, and Derek started off by saying this at the beginning, that what you write down, what you desire, your personal, your professional goals, they have to be very clear, crystal clear, because universal law responds to our clarity. It's not enough to say, well, I just want more money. Yeah. And definitely do not write down that you want to get out of debt. A lot of people I meet up with, they're talking about their debt. You will, by law, get more of whatever you focus on. So getting out of debt is a bad idea. So you want to get super crystal clear, get it on a card. Guess what? I always have my card everywhere I go. It's a habit. It's in my subconscious mind. I've replaced old bad habits, habits that were failure, that were not getting me what I wanted. I replaced those with healthier habits. And so I would say, yeah, get a goal card, start writing down what you want, and spend time in quiet and calm, visualizing that you've already reached there. Neville Goddard, he was known as the king of manifestation. He spoke a lot about the wish fulfilled. You've got to, regardless of what's going on outside you, regardless of the circumstances that you're not happy with, regardless of the extra weight, maybe you're carrying, a lot of talk about COVID weight or the relationship that's not working, you've got to, in your own mind, live in your imagination as though you've reached the goal. And that's going to seem absolutely crazy and silly to many of you, because unfortunately, you use your imagination against you. You're using your imagination to focus on doom and gloom. And, I would say you got to stop that, because if you want to reach greater levels of success in your life, you got to strengthen your imagination. Remember when you were a child, you were like doing all these amazing things. You were using your imagination. Again, now most people are allowing the imagination to use them. So I would say you've got to strengthen your imagination, even if you just start getting it on a goal card and just writing it out every day. You're going to see things starting to shift in your life, because you're not going to be focusing on what you don't want anymore. By law, it's an attraction vibration universe. If we focus on, again, debt, or we focused on fat, then guess what we get more of? It's just by law.
Yeah, I like it. I think the viewers have got some valuable information that when they apply, they will get a result. But you said about, persistence, and if you actually add consistency into that, so you take those two, consistency and persistence, I think they're essential habits for the viewers, essential skills to master. I would go as far as in saying, because we're not here promoting easy. We might be promoting some simple strategies because it is that simple, but like behind it all, does the work really probably comes before the belief, really, and it's having faith. But what Tara said as well, I like, because, you know, your subconscious is what is controlling you, and the world does want you to be average. Let's be fair. It wants you to be average. They want everyone average. They want distractions everywhere. So when you can actually focus, okay, you have your goal, but it's actually within the day, and use what Tara has suggested, because it is very valuable information, said in a bit of a different way than me. And that's why these calls are really cool, because, you know, you get two sides of the coin, really. And when you look at the imagination, like where your focus will determine your results. So like if you're focusing on fat, well, that's what you're going to get. If you're focusing on lack, that's what you're going to get. If you're focusing on debt. But if you actually, imagination, yes, it's making the picture big, bright, vivid. This is where I'm going, and that's cool. That's my inspiration. But here I am today. Now I know it's not a nice day. It could be raining outside. Maybe someone pissed you off, but I know if I stick to my task list in front of me, and this task list is going to, once I complete it, is going to be one step closer. Now, you know, potential, I don't believe in you'll ever reach your potential. I believe every goal you reach is a milestone, and it's just living, wanting to be more, wanting to become more, and wanting to do better, and then everyone around you will lift. So yeah, this has been fascinating. I really like doing these lives, and if anybody does have questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Tara. Now I'm going to tag you, Tara, and do feel free to reach out to Tara as well. She's very cool, very knowledgeable about what she knows. And do you have anything to say before we wrap up, Tara?
Well, what I was just thinking, with all of your great shares, Derek, is that maybe next time we jump on, we could go into habits a little bit around, like after this call, just kind of dive in to habits, because this is the thing, like, habits and self-image. When you look at your goals and your dreams, right, you're going to have to take an honest look at your habits. So Derek, your share around the person who is, you know, focused on fat, well, they have fatty thoughts, they have fatty habits, right? They have like probably a lack of movement and joy in their life. So you have to start to take a look honestly at habits and at self-image, and we can never outdo our self-image. So if you want to go from, you know, being overweight, I don't know, let's say if you're overweight 10, 50 pounds, and you want to be that person that's fit and healthy and running marathons, well, that's a big shift in, again, where you are right now and the habits. So I think that would be a really great conversation to have maybe next week. What do you think?
100%. I'm down for it, and I love talking about these subjects, because it's applicable to everybody. Like, you know, whether you're overweight, whether it's some other issues, but there's a solution to everything. There really is a solution. And I know there's days where I personally just want to give up, and I want to pull my hair and go, you know what, this is just a load of bullshit. But it's those days we have to be able to take our feelings aside, because every day can't be a great day, mentally or physically, but we take our feelings, we put them aside. And this comes back to finish up on the points. When you have a system to follow, it doesn't matter whether you're having a bad day. Once you follow this system, you've taken a step up, and the more days you win, the more confidence you build, and that momentum will just be a nice little driving force of energy behind you. So yeah, listen, habits next week. The live has been decided, and Tara, it was great.
Well, and why don't we just give our audience, why don't we give them a challenge? Because it's all about commitment, consistency, and persistence. So, you know, I think like it'd be great to give them a challenge to spend some time in quiet, you know, and then start journaling, start writing out what are some of those dreams that you have. Maybe you put them on the back burner. You know, maybe you kind of in some ways gave up on those fitness goals, and this is a great time to ignite that fire. As Napoleon Hill says in the chapter of desire and Think and Grow Rich, you got to have a burning desire. If you're going to reach those goals and dreams, you got to light that fire again. So spend some time dreaming and writing down those things. And when you've done that, and then maybe even get it on a card and start carrying that around with you. Tag us, let us know. And how did that feel? And, so we want you to do something here. We want you to take action, because without action, nothing is going to change. And the paradigm, that programming is so nasty. It's going to show up, it's going to be here, and then it's going to get, again, because it's such a distraction, distracted universe, world we're living in right now. Then you go into the next thing. So make a commitment. Let us know you're here, tag us, say hi, and then take action, because action takers, they're successful people. It's the ones that are constantly procrastinating and saying, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll come back to this next week. No, just get in the habit of just taking action. There's no cost to this video. And Derek and I are not here to sell you anything. We're just here to share some ideas and hopefully get some people thinking, because most people aren't thinking. And I would just say, take action.
It is, and it's the actions people aren't taking, or the actions they should be taking if they're in a situation where change is required. And I think it's any type of, thinking positive is great and stuff, but it's the actions which will create the positive future and the positive present, I would even say. And exactly what Tara said, we are here. We're here guiding you on these calls. We want you to apply what we said, and I'm sure when you do, you will see the result. And it is just to keep focused. So take action. That's where we will end the call.
Yeah. And I think, Derek, if you and I could do it, man, anybody can do it.
I think
right?
So.
I know there's going to be people on this call that see us today, and they're just like, oh, it's easy for them. Guess what? It wasn't easy for us. We took action. We made a decision. You have to be stronger. You have to be stronger than your BS. And so if we can do it, you can do it.
Tara, it's still not easy for me. I don't think it's easy for anyone. And even when I know I'm nowhere near where I want to go, and I'm not here saying I know everything, but what we do talk about, we know a thing or two about, so I can confidently come onto these videos and share what I know. And Tara does the same with what's worked, but not from her own experiences, but from clients' experiences. And at the end of the day, it's about you getting the results you want. So I trust you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And thank you very much, Tara, for joining me again.
Thank you. That was lots of fun. Okay, we'll do it again next week.
Yeah. See you next week, everybody. See you. Bye. Bye.